There are some typos. One that I put my eyes on, but you know, sometimes when you look at the same thing a million times, it's like being married for 50 years. You know, you got to appreciate it. But you got to appreciate it. That's the key word, James, appreciation. I know you learned that, brother. James Spaulding, yes. Yes, Mr. James Spaulding we have. And you'll hear from them later on, but we have the family of Ronnie Matthews. Leslie Conte, will you please take a stand with your friend? This is the family of Ronnie Matthews. Take a chance to greet the family. How about the family of James Spaulding? Please stand so the people know who you are, so they can greet you and congratulate you. Because as every jazz artist in this room knows, it really takes your family behind these artists. They on the road and all the work that they have to do behind the scenes, just for that 1 hour gig we might hear on the stage. There's hours and years and decades of work that goes into that. So as everybody retrieves their seats, I'm going to take this opportunity to invite to the stage the president of the Brooklyn Historical Society. We've been at this beautiful edifice now, talking to Deborah, almost going on 10 years, at least a good 7 years, and they have hosted this event we call the Brooklyn Jazz Hall of Fame and Museum. And we'll also have someone speak more, our council member, tell you a little bit more of the importance of why this edifice we call the Brooklyn Jazz Hall of Fame Museum should have a home. But right now, put your hands together and help me bring to the stage Deborah Schwartz. Deborah.
Good evening. It is really such a pleasure to have you all here with us at the Brooklyn Historical Society. This really has become a remarkable tradition, and we're very proud to be a host to you. I want to thank Bob, who's had such amazing vision for this for so long, and has sort of made me feel like a member of your family, and I'm very grateful for that. It was, I think, my first year here that we worked with Randy Weston and had a very magical and remarkable night, and we wish him happy birthday this month, right? 90 years old, and I know that he's here with us in spirit. So I just want to tell you a few things about this place that you're in, which is also kind of a historical place and very, very meaningful in the history of Brooklyn. We hope you'll come back and explore it in other ways as well. This place has been around since 1863, and it functions as a museum, as an education center. We have thousands and thousands of children from public schools who come in through this place every year. We try to offer our programs to students from the public schools for free. We also have exhibitions here. Just on the other side of this wall is an exhibition about the history of abolition in Brooklyn, and I hope you have a few minutes to take a good look at it. And the other thing that we do is lots and lots of programs. So in addition to this wonderful program, night after night, we have all kinds of programs that really tie history together with present-day issues. So for us, the stories about Brooklyn, both the triumphs, the successes, but also the challenges and the things that we have not yet succeeded in solving, issues of social inequity, racism, issues that are of concern to all of us are issues that we bring to the stage, and we invite our audiences to have conversations with us about those issues. So I hope that on your way out, all of you will pick up one of these brochures, sign up for our e-blasts, and come back over and over again. Our programs are sometimes free, sometimes tickets are $5, but almost always very affordable. And we're always excited to invite people in who have not been to our programs before. So without further ado, I'm going to let you get on with the festivities. Thank you all for being here, and have a fantastic evening. Congratulations to all the honorees this evening. We're really proud to be here.
So right now, you know, this has been our home away from home. We call this Central Brooklyn Central. But we're going to bring to the stage someone who knows all about how to build a museum. an institution where the culture can be housed, preserved, and educational activities can go on. So I'd like to introduce a special council person, and we know more as a friend of the arts. So I don't think she needs a lot of introduction once I say the name, Lori Cumbo. Please put your hands together for Central Brooklyn, Miss Lori Cumbo.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm so proud to be here because this is an opportunity for me to share in all of the joy and the greatness that is the Central Brooklyn Jazz Consortium. I'm so happy that you saw it fit to support me so that I would then be in a position to support you. And every year it's my honor and my privilege to make sure that your tax-paying dollars come back to this very institution. And it's an honor and a privilege to do that every single year. And as long as I'm in the city council, I will continue to do so and continue to support the critical work that happens here, because this is really, on so many levels, the birthplace of jazz music. This is where so many of our icons come from. This is where the music is created. This is where the music is shared, and it's experienced all over the world. And so I'm so very proud to be from this particular borough. As many of you know, I started a museum, the Museum of Contemporary African Diaspora and Arts, MOCADA, about 16 years ago. No, maybe 18 years ago now. It's kind of like my life has been frozen since I've been in the city council. But it has been a tremendous experience to see the institution grow. But institutions are so critical because institutions institutionalize a culture. And when I go all over the world and I see these international jazz festivals, I'll be honest, I get a bit jealous, because we should have that same level of support, we should have that same international visibility, and we need to recognize that while we have Eric Adams as borough president, public advocate Letitia James, Congress members Hakeem Jeffries and Yvette Clark, while we have myself in the city council, we need to take advantage of this time and make sure that while everyone's in place, that we come together and solidify your presence in the borough of Brooklyn. I'm always so very proud to talk about all of the jazz giants that come from Brooklyn wherever I go, whether it's Randy Weston, whether it's Max Roach, whether it's Lena Horne. I know that one of your honorees, Ronnie Matthews, who I went to Berkeley Carroll with his daughter, Selena Matthews. Selima, that's right. It was some time ago. But I knew that I was going to school with somebody famous. She was a couple of grades ahead of me. But I knew that she was somebody big and that her dad was somebody big in the jazz world. But I've been so proud of the work that has been produced out of Brooklyn, New York. And I want to say this is a critical time. Fundraising is critical. The ability to recognize development projects that are happening in the borough. We have the Bedford Union Armory, which is a project that's going to be the crown jewel of the Crown Heights community. And it's critical if we want to see a Jazz Hall of Fame in Brooklyn. We should look at spaces such as the Bedford Union Armory. We should look at development projects that are happening in Brooklyn. Right now, recently, I went to the grand opening of Arts East New York. It was an incredible opportunity to see the work of Catherine Green, who has been doing this work for over 15 years, transformed into a beautiful space in East New York where people will be able to come to celebrate the art, culture, and history of East New York. It is certainly an oasis there. So I hope that you all will come to visit that space, but that we will also be able to create our own space collaboratively and together. So I want to thank you all on behalf of the New York City Council. I want to thank everyone here at the Brooklyn Historical Society. You all are doing incredible work, the entire team. Thank you so much, Deborah, for always opening up your doors. And I want to thank everybody at the Central Brooklyn Jazz Consortium for recognizing the history and the culture, and that we continue to share this gift with our young people so that the next generation of young people rise up and carry on the great tradition that is American music, that is Brooklyn's music, that is the Brooklyn music of the African diaspora. So I thank you all so much for your time, your energy, and let's continue to lift up the voice of jazz in Brooklyn, New York. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori Cumbo. We got a special person here. There's only 6 of them now. You know, I was telling Lori about some of the people who have entered into this, what do you want to call it? Hall of Fame
That's right.
thing.
Yes.
There's James, Neil Clark, Lassetti, Leslie Conte. You know, there are 6 living people who are part of the Brooklyn Jazz Hall who have been inducted into the Brooklyn Jazz Hall of Fame. One of them happens to be here tonight. You know, these guys work for a living. Kenny Barron wanted to be here. Randy Weston wore himself out last night. He wanted to be here for Neil, and Neil wore him out. Neil wore him out. Y'all should have been there last night. Neil wore him out. So Randy wanted to be here.
Where did all this wearing out happen at?
At the Brooklyn Public Library.
Oh, man.
While you was doing the state of the district.
Oh, that's right. I was in a
She's
good
taking
place.
care of the business of the district.
That's right.
But that's just to say, even Reggie Workman, Alex Blake, who wore himself out on the stage last night. The great Alex Blake. And the person we have here, homegrown, I like to bring him to the stage just for recognition purposes. Mr. Stanley Banks, the great Stanley Banks. Please put your hands together. The great Stanley Banks. You know what? If you guys want a tour of what Brooklyn Jazz is all about, get invited to Stanley's house and go up the steps and see all the silver, gold, and platinum. That's how he pays his rent. He hawks them every once in a while.
That's
Great
what I'm
Stanley
talking
Banks.
about.
Stanley, please come here for a minute.
Woo!
Stanley Banks.
You know, she said something very important. Thank
Say
you.
a couple words, Stanley. He's not going to do a lot of speaking.
I'm not going to speak. I'm not going to
We have
speak.
to recognize Stanley.
Neil, you know, we've been hitting these streets for a long time. All I can tell you is when you get that award, it makes you feel that much more special by your peers. But Ms. Cumbo just said something that was very important, and we know all about this. We know about leaving this country. We have seen hundreds of jazz festivals. So what I'm saying now, what I'm going to ask is how can we, the politicians, CBJC, how can we have one meeting in which we try to figure out how to get those people from Europe over here, or the word out? That could be done in a meeting, just to get the word out, right? You know, it can be done through the, but there's, if we can, committed effort and a piece of communication from here to the individual jazz festivals. I mean, I can go over to a jazz festival and say, hey, look, I'm part of CBJC's, da-da-da-da-da. But it would be official coming from CBJC and Laurie Cumbo and all the offices, all in one letter. Can we see that? Okay, thank God to you all. Thank you so much. I really, really love my award. You're going to see what I'm talking about next year. Maybe not, maybe sooner than that.
Stanley Banks.
Oh, yeah.
Stanley
You
Banks.
got to teach me how to bow now. Bop!